All right, our splatters are dry, so let's put our card together. Now, on my sample, I have a lot more splatters than what I did on this one. You can do as many or as few as you want. There's no, it's personal preference basically, whether you like a lot or whether you like a little. The other thing too, remember what I did with the re-inker that I got it on my hands? Word of caution, don't accidentally touch your nose after you do that. Apparently I did. And then I brought my daughter to work. Thank heavens I didn't go into a store because I had a nice green swipe all over my nose that I've been spending the last little bit getting it off. All right, I'm going to put a block here to hold this down. I'm actually going to weigh it down with some with a weight. So now I'm going to put my thanks together. So this was the other piece of the thanks that I die cut in the very first card. Pretty sure it was the first card. No, second card. So just like that one, I'm going to glue the layers together. Now you can tell that this one is a different color from the one that I used on my card, but it started, the one that I used on my card started this way. So it's very easy to change the color, and I'll show you how in a moment. So by having the same die cut and die cutting it a few times and then just layering it on top, you eliminate any need for pop dots, which is great for something like this that's really intricate, because trying to put pop dots on something like this is next to impossible. So this way you get some dimension, but you don't have to try to work with pop dots that aren't the right size and having to cut them down. All right, so that is all glued together. And now I'm going to take my scrap paper, put my die cuts on there. This one slid over a little bit. Now typically I would wait a little bit longer for this to dry. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to press my ink pad on that die cut. Now if there's a little bit of blue from the sides showing, the background is the same color, so I'm not really worried about that. I'm really worried, not worried, I'm really trying to get an even coat over the front of my piece here. And now I'm going to move this where there's no ink, because I don't really want my embossing powder to stick to that ink there. So this is the same color embossing powder that was on the stems of the flowers. There we go, just get the excess off. I'm going to move that to my table, put the powder back in the container, and close it. And now we're going to melt the powder. So I'm going to be really careful to try not to smudge the powder on the front. Now I ended up moving my die cut to my table here just because it was a little bit hard to keep it straight, to heat or to aim the heat gun in the right area. And by putting it on a table, that's a lot easier. You just want to make sure that it's on a surface or a mat that can handle the heat from a heat gun. And I just did one layer of the ink and embossing powder. You could absolutely add another layer if you wanted it to just be more built up and more enameled, but one layer was good for me. So there we go. Pretty anemone card that can be used as a thank you card. And this sentiment can obviously be changed to whatever you're wanting. You can change it to anything you want. But there you are. Another fun way to use color layer stencils.